morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Santa Cruz County and our virtual online service. Every Sunday since March, we have gathered on Zoom, and I am amazed at this technology and I am deeply grateful for it as well. My name is Reverend Terra Collier-Young. I am the affiliated community minister with this congregation. And we also are served by our senior minister, Reverend Russ Mank, our intern, Sanjay Hawk, and our interfaith minister is Reverend Ryan Altas. As you can see, our congregation is served by these ministries as we share our varied gifts, perspectives, and styles. And one of the ways that we share these gifts is to share the pulpit at least one Sunday a month, with two ministers bringing their insights and perspective to one topic. It reveals a depth of experience and wisdom. And I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the fellowship's committees and teams. They do so much work behind the scenes. They get so much done, and they are an integral part of creating this beloved community. One such team is our Children's Religious Exploration Program. And in case you didn't know, there is a child-oriented service that starts on Sunday morning at 9:15. And the RE chairperson for the last 2.5 years is Carol Shimke, and she's going to step down. And RE parent Jessica Bukowinski is going to step in. So I'd like for us to give Carol and Jessica a round of applause. Round of applause, okay. Our campus may be closed, but our congregation is wide open. To be abreast of what is happening in this lively congregation, you are encouraged to read the current happenings, our weekly e-news that is delivered on Thursdays. And you can sign up for that on the website, which the website address is on the screen. To our visitors, we're so glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you for coming out on this day to be with us in worship and experience what we have to offer you today. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal, progressive, and life-affirming faith practice. We are in covenant with each other, and in our covenanting, we agree to principles and sources that were developed and voted on by our Association of Congregations. So for our service today, I would like to invoke the third principle, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth. And my favorite source is the direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which move us to a renewal of spirit and openness to the forces that create and uphold life. Serving us today is Worship Associate Jenny Aragon, our Music Director Gail Swain, pianist Carol Thorson, and choir member Dave Andrew. And our guest artist is Kai Seidenberg. She is a local nature connection guide, ecotherapist, and poet who is following a sacred calling to help people connect directly and mindfully with nature for the benefit of all beings. Kai loves to help people find simple ways to connect with Earth, wherever they are, and cultivate intimate and nourishing bonds with the wild places, and access a nature-based healing. She offers sessions and group programs. Her poems are gifts from Earth and Spirit that come through when she listens deeply and opens herself to the mystery of the natural world. Creating space for a deep connection and singing with the Yalalati Women's Choir, directed by Heather Houston, is a great love of hers. Kai aspires to touch the earth with her hands and feet every day. It is so good for you to carve out time to have some respite from all the noise and clatter, distractions and arguments of our busy culture. Taking time to nurture yourself with music and poetry and introspection, especially for us to be in beloved community. I'm so happy to be with you here this morning. Blessed be this day.
The chalice lighting for this morning is a poem by Nancy Wood titled "You Shall Ask." You shall ask what good are dead leaves, and I will tell you. They nourish the sore earth. You shall ask what reason is there for winter, and I will tell you. To bring about new leaves. You shall ask, why are the leaves so green? And I will tell you, because they are rich with life. You shall ask, why must summer end? And I will tell you, so that the leaves can die.
In the services I offered in the last 2 months, I have identified this as an era of a paradigm shift. And one such shift a very profound one in my mind, is that the Unitarian Universalist Association, or the UUA, as well as congregations across the country, have been participating in what is known as a land acknowledgement. At the virtual 2020 General Assembly, delegates overwhelmingly voted in favor of an action of immediate witness called "To Address 400 Years of Supremacist Colonialism," white supremacist colonialism. You will find the link to the text PDF on the resource page at the end of the service. And as we approach the American holiday of Thanksgiving, the time when we honor the Pilgrims, shared meals with the Native Americans, the UUA is offering a series of virtual events that will include a diverse array of programs and opportunities for learning and spiritual growing to guide us as we live into the action of immediate witness. It is called Harvest the Power, Justice, Convergence, and Teach-In, and it will be held on November 19th through the 26th. And this resource information will also be on the resource page, the last slide of this presentation. This is not an easy thing to do. And this is also not to blame us for the behavior of our ancestors. Still, admitting that they were empire builders and that they colonized this country, and oftentimes with bad faith, bartered for its natural resources, we are taking this opportunity to right the wrongs of history. And history has proven that this actually happened. And one of the ways it reveals itself is the names of some of our local towns. Soquel, Aptos, Esalen, Salinas, Costanoa, Ohlone. These are all Native American names. And so we humbly start our services with this acknowledgement, and we strive to move forward in solidarity with and support for our local tribal leaders, the Amamutsun Land Trust. You will learn more about them during the offertory. But for now, let's take a moment of silence to pay respect to their elders and to all Indigenous people, past and present. And with this, I invite our guest poet to unmute herself and share some of her wisdom with us, please.
Thank you, Terra. Thank you for that beautiful acknowledgement. And thank you all for the opportunity to be with you as part of your service and your community this morning. This first poem is called Leap of Faith. This leap of faith is not a one-shot deal. I have not landed in a warm, soft place after one easy jump. I am stepping closer to the edge of the chasm, peering deeper into the void, diving farther into the mystery. I am leaping again and again and again, feeling the soft, warm air flowing by me as I soar through the darkness, arms outstretched like newly sprouted wings. And even as I fall through the apparently empty space, I rest in the knowledge that I am guided by something much wiser than myself, that is taking me exactly where I need to go.
Thank you, Kai. Chuck, would you like to unmute and share the offertory with us?
Yes, thank you, Terra. Our Sunday offering is an important part of our ritual, reaffirming our commitment to our community. Now that it is virtual, please take a look at the information on the screen regarding how to, quote, put some money in the basket during this interlude or after service. Starting next Sunday, we hope to have another option in place, text giving, to help make the whole process even simpler. More information will be coming on our move into the 21st century. Today, we are continuing our tradition of sharing the proceeds of our plate with an outside nonprofit organization whose mission and values are in keeping with our own. For the month of November, this organization is the Amamutsan Land Trust. This year, we've been regularly acknowledging our debt of gratitude to the Amamutsan tribe on whose land we live. Supporting the Land Trust is another level of acknowledgement, a way of thanking and supporting them for their ongoing stewardship of this land sacred to them and treasured by us. And next week, we're going to have a representative from the Amamutsan Land Trust with us to talk about their project further. So stay after service next week if you want to hear about that. And this week on Wednesday, November 18th, 7 p.m., in place of the usual Vesper service, there will be a lecture by a guest speaker on learning about the land, its people, and the legacy of injury. See the details here on the screen. Now, as stated in the Amamutsan Land Trust Plan documents, and I quote, long ago, the Amamutsan entered into a sacred covenant with the Creator. Humans were entrusted to take care of their kin, the plants, and the animals, who would in turn take care of humans. Could we state our seventh principle any better than that? So please give generously to help the Amamutsan help us all. Thank you, Terra.
Thank you, Chuck. This is a sing-along, and as you can see, with the miracle of technology, I was able to take a photo of the hymnal and email it to myself and then put it on this slide. So we have a little of the hymnal with us this morning.
So as Terra mentioned in my intro, my poems come from listening to nature and opening to what wants to come through. 10 years ago, I had no idea I was going to be writing poetry. It started coming when I started learning to listen more deeply. So This is based on a true story. This is how it happened. It's called On the Road at Night. Driving alone on a quiet country road on a moonless night. Not a single car or house nearby. A chorus of crickets, the loudest sound. The road, a smooth ribbon of black, unspooling seamlessly into the warm night, with an occasional pale curve punctuating the blackness, like a question mark. I stop the car to investigate, step out on the warm road, and encounter an old friend I had hoped to see on the trail that day. A rattlesnake, quietly soaking up the sun's warmth, still lingering in the now dark road. The two of us meet in silent recognition, each aware that the other has the power to harm, but will wield it only as a last resort. Tonight, as usual, we meet in peace. Just two creatures breathing together under the stars, finding our way home through the darkness.
I walk the unfrequented road with open eye and ear. I watch and feel the farmer load the bounty of the year. I gather where I did not sow and bind the mystic sheaf, the amber air, the rivers flow, the rustle of the leaf. A beauty springtime never knew haunts all the quiet ways, and sweeter shines the landscape through its veil of autumn haze. I face the hills, the streams, the wood, and feel with all akin. My heart expands their fortitude, and peace and joy flow in.
So lovely. I've been enjoying hearing Gail sing for many years now. This is called Invisible. All morning, the Spirit has been speaking to me, and I've been listening. All morning, I have honored slower ways of moving, quiet ways of listening, subtle ways of acting, like roots moving unseen beneath the surface, carrying on the invisible yet essential work that makes all visible growth possible.
as we settle ourselves into Pacific Standard Time and the sun sets around 5 p.m., we find ourselves in that darkening time of year when the seasons ease from autumn to winter. I know a lot of people bemoan the time change. It feels really drastic to lose that hour of sunlight at the end of October, even though we are getting back the hour taken away from us in March. But here's the thing. There are a certain amount of hours of daylight in any given day throughout the year, no matter what time we call it. Daylight savings time, as we know it, was created with the intention of saving electricity. Yet, in this day and age, people still go inside and turn on their lights, even though in the middle of summer, the sun doesn't set until 9 p.m. Personally, I think daylight saving time is a concept that has outlived its usefulness, but I digress. Back in the day, before electricity was available in every home, folks generally went to bed about 1 or 2 hours after sundown, and then woke in the morning about twilight, half an hour or so before sunrise. No alarms, just tuned into the natural seasonal circadian rhythms. And now here we are in the 21st century, incredibly dependent upon electricity. We take it for granted, yet the conditions of manufacturing energy, especially electricity, have taken a terrible toll on our natural world. Take a look at a satellite map of the night sky, and you will see that the industrialized world is lit up all night long. This is called light pollution. We are a light-oriented culture. We favor light things. And you know the cliches. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We shed light on the subject. I saw the light, or the cartoon of a light bulb that clicks on when we get a great idea. So why are we so infatuated with light that we're willing to lose and gain back an hour every year? And how is it that we are willing to devastate parts of Earth to extract resources so that we can power up all our devices? Perhaps another approach is, why are we so afraid of the dark? In my studies, in my research, there are many reasons why this has come about. And the one I want to lift up this morning, one that has had tremendous influence on humanity for the last 2,000 years, can be found in the book of Genesis. In the beginning, God created heavens and earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. This is a very common version for American Christians. And I have this parallel Bible. I have to show it to you because it's the most amazing thing. It contains the King James Version, the New International Version, the Living Bible, and the Revised Standard Version, which that verse was recited from. And they are lined side by side, page for page. And you can see the differences, the little nuances that make things very different. And you can be sure theologians throughout the ages contemplate and argue about these nuances. In an excellent book that I read for a theology class in seminary, On the Mystery by Catherine Keller, she offers this version as translated from Hebrew. When Elohim began to create heaven and earth, the earth was tohu vabohu, and darkness was upon the face of Tehom, and Ruach was pulsing over the face of the waters. Then Elohim said, "Let there be light." So tohu vabohu is not easy to translate to English, so it roughly means waste and wild, unformed, and messy. Tehom is the womb, chaotic, churning, oceanic deep or abyss. And Ruach is the breath, it's the wind, it is spirit. So heaven and earth were not null and void or ex nihilo, which is the Latin word for it, meaning non-existent or non-substantive. But they were creatio ex profundis, vast and full of potential. I love that visualization that all of existence was this combination and combustion of what I've heard called the singularity, this messy potentiality of chaotic churning waters with the breath, spirit, essence swirling around it, stirring up that primordial soup of what could possibly be. In this creation myth, all three were crucial for life to come to life. It all began in sacred darkness. It began in gestation. And when God drew light from dark, calling it good, this was not a dualistic naming, making dark bad. It was an exclamation of the pleasure of creating beauty, not negating where the beauty originated. Yet through the centuries of primarily male theological discourse, this holy dark and origin of creation has been maligned, and it became synonymous with reprehensible and undesirable and evil. In the days that follow this service, I encourage you to notice how the word dark is used in everyday language and writing. In my own observations, because once aware, I saw it often, dark was used when other adjectives and adverbs would have been much better and accurate descriptors. I see that this use of dark has had a subversive, subconscious, and psychological influence on humanity. This vernacular has tainted our relationship to night and darkness. And sadly, things that are naturally dark, like dark-skinned people, get caught up in the suspicion and the distrust. Now, no doubt, there are scary things that come out at night. Robbery, marauders, creepy people creeping around, the boogeyman. And we have learned to have a radar on alert for things that lurk in the shadows. And this is self-preservation. So what I'm taking exception to is that this misuse of the word, an association of fear, distrust, and evil onto the word darkness, has compromised our relationship with the true beauty and the sacred nature of what is dark, of what is dark-skinned, hidden, obscure, quiet, subtle, unknown, and mysterious. Reflecting on darkness in this service has given us a variety of perspectives to consider as we move into the next 3 months with more intentionality. We can shift our responses to that 5 o'clock sunset. Like the paradigm that is shifting by embracing the change of seasons and allowing ourselves peaceful rejuvenation so that when spring comes, we have reserves of energy to grow. All life is born after gestational period in darkness. It is the tender holding and nurturing of that little divine seed of creativity so that when it's ready, it has all the components it needs to grow into light and to be declared good. Tonight is a new moon. And my invitation, actually, my strong encouragement, is for you all to bundle up and go outside tonight. Just take in the night. Look at the sky. Be a presence amongst all that is there that is not centered around being human. Be a part of the whole. And try not to overthink it. Just reside in it and take this peacefulness with you to bed and to sleep. Then tomorrow, take a moment for reflection. Perhaps write in your journal about your experience. Perhaps write a poem. Blessed be the dark.
Our reading today is a poem, The Nourishing Dark by Richard S. Gilbert. We pause in the holy quiet of the nourishing dark. The days are short now. Darkness overtakes light. We miss the sparkling daylight hours, the long days of brightness and activity. We yearn for their swift return and wonder if we can wait or if our patience will at last give out. We forget the nourishing dark at our peril. There is mystery in the dark to be probed. There is the adventure of that which cannot be known, cannot be seen, can only be experienced in the soul. There's deepness in the dark, impenetrable and inviting. In the darkness, we rest our bodies and our souls. We escape that which distracts and confuses. We come face to face with ourselves. We come into the deep places of our being. Darkness is not mere absence of light. Darkness is not simply an interval between days. Darkness is the softness of things, the blessed quiet of the night. May we not bemoan the dark, but relish it. May we feel its powerful presence and rejoice in its mystical embrace. May we celebrate the deep and nourishing dark. Next, for our joys and sorrows, this is a time to share what's on our hearts. Our lives are complex as we navigate our way amongst the myriad of emotions and experiences that touch our days. We also shift between the dark and the light, as that is our humanity and humanness. Our joys and sorrows find a safe place in this, our beloved community. We're heard, we're cared for, we're celebrated, we're consoled. I invite you to share what's on your heart and in your spirit using the chat box function on your screen. Your words will be read and shared, and Terra and I will take turns doing that.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay, let's see here.
Starts with Carol Shimke.
Okay, thank you. I am grateful to Terra and her reframing of dark. Just yesterday, I used the term dark days to describe how I am feeling right now as I struggle through a hard experience that I'm having with my daughter because it is very heavy on my heart. But Terra's word gestational is so much more hopeful as it speaks to a new potential for my relationship with my daughter that I must be patient for.
And Edie Rhodes shares with us, I just got back from Portland, Oregon, where I saw my family members. It was such a joy.
Dave says, mourning the passing of Pierre, my longtime Belgian colleague and friend who died on November 1st.
Jean shares with us, it is a very sad household here with no end in sight except decline and isolation.
Sierra shares, despite trying natural remedies, pharmaceuticals, and specialized therapy, Tom continues to struggle with insomnia. It is taking a toll on his well-being.
Jennifer Choate says, goodbye. I will be off to Eureka for the rest of the year, beginning Sunday, November 22nd. Still have Zoom though. Love, Jenny.
John David says, we were happy to host, heavily laden with birthday gifts for both of us, Erica, and from time to time, her two traveling companions for 4 days, Wednesday through Saturday here in Costa Rica. They honored our old folks' reticence to have house guests by staying in a nearby 2-bedroom house. Delightful to see her and meet her companions.
Rachel Katz says prayers of appreciation for my dear friend Kate and her husband Ari.
Shasta says, my debilitating pain is a lot less. Very good.
And Gail offers us, just got the word that Pamela Cote is having complications from her surgery. She has no family nearby, so please consider contacting her and helping out if you can.
Fred Simone says, joy that we have a new administration that is concerned with the well-being of all the American people.
And Andy Krejci offers, already shared this inadvertently in what I intended to be a private message, joy and encouragement by my stepson's embracing fatherhood and sobriety.
Heather, I am grateful to Terra for the inspiration for all the creative writing I now want to do in this darker time. I am sorry that my dear friend Nona, who is like a mom to me, fell and broke her hip and needed surgery, and grateful that she is recovering well.
And Joy shares, I'm so looking forward to January 20th, 2021 at 12:01 p.m. I'm also anguished at the vast number of people who still will not be around to share that day due to the inadequate response to the pandemic. Wear a mask and physically safe distance so you can be here with us. I have a personal joy I want to share, and that is Scott and my darling daughter, Camille, and her wonderful boyfriend, Cameron, are engaged, and they are planning a wedding for summer 2022. we have a time to plan, but I get to be the mother of the bride.
We'll wait a minute or two and for others to share in joys and sorrows.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Let's just take this moment in quiet contemplation, and then Dave will sing with us the meditation on breathing.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Darkness, darkness, be my pillow. Take my hand and let me sleep in the coolness of your shadow, in the silence of your deep. Darkness, darkness has me yearning for the things that cannot be. Keep my mind from constant turning toward the things I cannot see now. The things I cannot see now. The things I cannot see. Darkness, darkness, long and lonesome, as the day brings the pain. I have found the edge of stillness, yet I live in the depth of fear. Darkness, darkness, be my blanket. Cover me with endless night. Take away the pain that flows away. Fill the emptiness with night. Emptiness with night. The emptiness with night. Darkness, darkness, be my pillow. Take my hand and let me sleep in the coolness of your shadow, in the silence of your deep. Darkness, darkness has me yearning for the things that cannot be, and keep my mind from constant turning toward the things I cannot see now. The things I cannot see now. The things I cannot see. Darkness, darkness, be my pillow. Take my hand and let me sleep.
So beautiful. Thank you. And I so appreciate the invitation to appreciate the nourishing and beautiful and fertile aspects of darkness. This is called not knowing. I am willing to not know, to linger in that shadowy in-between place, in the sometimes awkward silence. I am willing to hold the part of me that is afraid of the dark, that desperately wants to run headlong towards the first faint glimmer of light, no matter the source. I am willing to have the patience to wait until the mud settles and my mind is clear, to trust the fertility of stillness, to seek the clearer, brighter light that burns just beyond the dark shadows.
Join us as we sing the blessing, Dave. Andrew will lead us through it.
De todos bajo el gran sol, surgió esperanza, fe y amor, verdad, petición, la canción, de cada tierra, cada voz. Come all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill, and earth be sung through every land, by every tongue.
Thank you, Dave. I wish you all a lovely dark season. And I know that in our light-oriented culture, this can be very challenging. But I know in my heart of hearts that we know in the deepest marrow of our bones the beauty, the sacred, the gestation that comes with dark. And perhaps be patient. Sit with it. We don't have to be entertained every second of the day. And really, I want you all to bundle up tonight and go outside. And I'll listen for a report. Anyways, you can see on this screen, I have highlighted some resources, ways of getting in touch with Kai, ways of engaging with our congregation on Facebook, particularly this awesome offering by the UUA, Harvest the Power, Justice, Convergence, and Teach In. What an appropriate time that is this Thanksgiving. Okay. And so this concludes our formal part of our service. And then we get to have an informal part, which is that our lovely technician, Bryn Stanley, which I'm sorry, I forgot to acknowledge her at the beginning of the service. She will offer folks an opportunity to go into small group breakout sessions, to have fellowship, to share further, and to just deepen our relationship. This is what we get to do in the era of COVID. And I think we're really making the best of it. So blessed be this day. Blessed be these lovely people in this community. Have a good day. Thank you.
Everyone is welcome to unmute right now. It takes a little bit of time to get people into breakout rooms.
Thank you, Bryn.
That was a wonderful service. To me, the dark months are a time to reflect, a time to rest, time to gather your thoughts.
Precisely, Bill. Thank you. You're already on it. Yeah.
I thought it was great too, Tara. I really appreciate a reminder to sort of cultivate the little needs within, like writing and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Heather.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Peg, that's a pretty
That's what I
catch.
wanted, join breakout room.
There you go. There's your breakout room.
Thank you, Tara. That was great.
You're welcome, Shasta. Good to see you.
Nice to see you again. I'm making yogurt again.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
I want to compliment Ginny. She did a wonderful job today. Yes.
Yes. Yes. I love having Ginny as my worship associate. It's really, we collaborate nicely.